Welcome to Deck Check, the series where I check out a game and let you know how it plays on deck. Today, I'll be taking a look at Magic Arena, a digital card game created by developers at Wizards of the Coast as an adaptation of the paper Magic the Gathering card game. I'll be going over compatibility, controls, graphic settings, and overall feel, and giving the game a final rating based on how well it plays on deck. If you find this content helpful, go ahead and subscribe. Every subscription helps a ton. Magic Arena installs and starts up just fine on the deck, with no tweaks or custom Proton versions necessary. However, out of the gate it has an odd resolution issue that causes a zoomed-in view, with card text cut off both the left and right edges of the screen. This problem is easily solved, however, by simply opening the graphics menu. And I mean literally just opening the menu. You don't have to change any settings. For some bizarre reason, simply visiting the settings menu will fix the issue permanently. How odd. Compatibility for games can change over time though, so I recommend checking the comments to see if anything has changed in the time since this video was posted, and leaving a comment yourself if you have any issues. Magic Arena does not have controller support, or official Steam Deck support of any kind, in fact. Upon booting the game up, it will default to a control scheme that maps the right touchpad to a virtual trackball mouse. This technically does work, but it's an absolutely miserable way to play the game. Having to move the mouse to the bottom right of the screen to confirm every action both you and your opponents perform will very quickly drive you insane. On top of that, this control scheme has a few other quirks, like being unable to activate abilities of cards without using a separate button that acts as a click. You can try to use the touchscreen to control the game. However, in order to do this, you'd have to hold the deck up with one hand, and this is not a very comfortable way to play with a device that weighs a fair amount. Fortunately, the Steam Deck gives you the tools to try a number of different control schemes to find one that's a better fit. All it takes is opening up the Community Layouts tab and selecting something that looks good to you. After a bit of messing around, I found one that I quite liked, the aptly titled MTG Arena on Steam Deck by user DMG. Using a good community layout like this vastly improves the experience of playing Magic Arena on deck. This one, for instance, includes buttons for important arena hotkeys, like attacking with all, letting spells resolve, and passing the turn. In regards to the UI, it's time to talk about Magic Arena's biggest problem: tiny text size. The text on cards is incredibly difficult to read on the deck, and this only gets worse for cards with a lot of text, which the game will shrink down to a literally unreadable size. Mercifully, this issue can be fixed by checking this option in the settings, which causes card text to scroll instead of shrink. But this does nothing to address the fact that the default size is already way too small. If you are a veteran Magic player, this might not bother you too much if you can recognize the cards by their art and already know what their effects are. But if you're trying to read what all your cards do, you're going to have a bad time. As for performance, the deck delivered a consistent 60 FPS with no discernible dips. I'd estimate the battery life at about 3.5 hours, which is respectable in comparison to most other games, but not exactly the stellar performance I would hope for from a less demanding title like a digital card game. All this is well and good, but there's an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed when it comes to talking about Magic Arena on the Steam Deck: the fact that this is far from the only way to play Arena portably. Magic Arena has both mobile and tablet apps available for free, and these versions have reworked UI elements and touchscreen controls that make them well suited for portable play in ways that the Steam Deck can't quite manage. Because Magic Arena is a free-to-play game and you can carry over progress onto any device you wish to play on, there's no reason to specifically play a PC version you already own. If the mobile version is more convenient, then you can just play that. When it comes to my overall thoughts on Magic Arena on the deck, my feelings are very mixed. On the one hand, the game runs flawlessly, with decent battery life. On the other hand, the small text size, less than ideal controls, and availability on other portable platforms makes it difficult to recommend playing Magic Arena on deck. I'm forced to ask myself, in what situation would I actually choose to play on the deck over another platform? If I was at home, I'd play on my PC. If I wanted to lay in bed and play a bit, I'd do so on my tablet. And if I was out and about, it would be far more convenient to just pull out my phone. The only situation I can imagine playing on the deck is if you didn't have these other devices, perhaps your mobile phone doesn't run Arena very well, if you're out and about and want to conserve battery on your phone, or if you're using the deck plugged into a monitor as a desktop setup. All in all, I'd say Magic Arena is playable. You can do it if you want to, but I imagine most people will simply choose other platforms. I plan to make more Steam Deck videos, so if you don't want to miss out, go ahead and subscribe, and leave a like while you're at it. And if you have any games you'd like to see me cover in the future, leave a comment letting me know. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.